Moving on, we are looking at the extract of Accelerate's organization chart, which has been given to us very clearly right here. So the clear chart, the clear hierarchy has been explained. And as we can see at the top, we have Joseph Waller, who is the managing director. Now, this managing director, as we know, his responsibility is to set the strategy. Now, he is setting the strategy, and under him, there are specific directors who handle specific parts of the organization. For example, Megan deals with finance, Gavin deals with IT, Jessica deals with marketing. So they are given their own specialized departments that they are supposed to look at. And under these departments, there are further management level managers, you can say, or managers that deal with the day to day. For example, Ethan Hunt is the finance manager. He reports to Megan. Megan reports to Joseph, and Joseph makes the strategy. So, as you can see, it's a very clearly defined structure, and we call it the functional structure. More on the functional structure is described in the next slide. So as we said, it's a functional structure. So seeing the images above, we can say that a functional structure seems to be in place where similar activities are grouped together and there is a degree of specialization. All finance activities grouped under the finance director, IT activities grouped under the IT director, and it creates a degree of specialization. Now, it's generally recommended for smaller sized organizations who work in a stable environment, who don't offer many different kinds of products or services. In our case, we are starting to outgrow that stage. We offer many different services. We don't work in a stable environment, it's a dynamic environment. So, in the future, there can be an exam question that asks you to look at changing the current structure of the organization. That is, they can create a scenario saying that we are now deciding to move to a divisional structure. What are the advantages and disadvantages of the same way they'll ask you for a matrix structure, advantages and disadvantages of the same. So you need to know what each structure is. The benefits of a functional structure are specialization, scope of expansion, better control, more efficiency. But the disadvantages are long term decision making progress can become a problem, a little bit of a short term focus. There can be conflicts between the departments, and it doesn't give importance to customer and the outputs. It only looks at how your organization is actually functioning internally. It does not have any outside feedback, it does not have any uh, connections for lower level managers to make decisions. Nothing of that sort, so needs to be looked at. And like I said, different perspectives of whether you can move to a divisional structure, whether you can move to a matrix structure, need to be thought over here. They have further broken down the finance structure for us in this slide. So the finance department, as we know, Megan Dubois comes at the top. She's the director. Under her, there is the finance manager, who is Ethan Tennant. And as we saw in slide number 1, our main job is to support Ethan Tennant. So in the finance team under Ethan Tennant, there are 3 senior officers. There are 5 finance officers, of which you are one, and then there are 3 assistants. So you are one of the finance officer. Your main role is to support Ethan Tennant, and most of the questions that you face in the exam will be answering Ethan Tennant's doubts. Whatever Ethan Tennant forwards to you, you will have to answer. You will have to give the detail on, because you are the finance officer. You are the CIMA expert over here. You have studied this background, and that is why clear costing, clear budgeting, and all of the other roles that we spoke about is knowledge that should be present with you. Moving on to an important slide, which is the company's operations. So how are our operations handled? First, sales. Now the company operates a number of sales locations throughout Everland. The sales locations are either on airport, close to airport, or off airport, sometimes situated near train stations or city centers, which are easy for customer pickups. Some of the properties are owned by the company, but many of them are leased. We already know this information. Revenue by customer for 2020 was split 49% business and 51% leisure, whilst revenue by market was split 68% on airport and 32% off airport. So out of your total 100% revenue, 49% came from business travelers, 51% came from leisure travelers. If you split it by market, 68% of your revenue was on airport sites. So you can see how important they are for your business. And 32% were off airport sites. So please make sure you take ideas from these numbers. Remember that on airport sites are very important for my business. And business travelers, leisure travelers, both are generating somewhat around the same amount of revenue for you. So you are not really focusing on one, that's okay. But to keep in mind that they generate approximately equal revenue from us, slight advantage to the leisure segment, but the on airport sites are very, very important. Sales revenue is subject to seasonal variations in customer demand patterns, with the spring and summer vacation periods representing the company's peak season. So, seasonal variations and focusing your attention on key business periods is vital for my business. So, getting my time series analysis correct, getting my fleet management correct during these seasonal peak periods is very important. The fleet size is adjusted over the course of the year to help manage your seasonal variations. In the winter, when we don't need many cars, we might dispose them off when the date is right. We might enter into the repurchase agreement cars, changing some of our cars. It could be managed in a way where in the summer and spring seasons you have maximum number of capacity. Any localized changes in demands are managed through moving cars from one location to another. If there is something specific happening in a certain part of the country, you can move your cars from one part to another, making them available so that you don't lose out on the revenue. The company's rental income management system is fundamental to ensuring that prices are competitive. So you have an income management system that is fundamental to ensuring prices are competitive, because we know this market is very, very competitive. There are big players who are always going to offer better services at cheaper prices. You have been able to survive because of your local credentials, because of your quality customer service, and that is why you charge a little bit higher than your normal dealers. The average rental period for us is 6.3 days. Now, our major aim is to make sure that the rental periods increase. The more your cars are out on rent, the more revenue you earn. So, maximizing rental period is one of the key areas that you must achieve. This varies by customer type, with the average period for leisure customers being longer than business customers. Very true. Rental fees are normally paid in advance. However, the company also provides credit facilities to a number of businesses which regularly rent cars for staff and visitors. So, rental fees is paid in advance, so your revenue is received in advance. Revenue recognition, your IAS from F1, needs to be learnt carefully over here. Similarly, they're telling you that for some clients who are your day-to-day or regular clients, you offer them credit facilities. So when you're offering them credit facilities, your receivables management, because these numbers are going to be somewhat significant. Why? Because they are regular dealings, right? And businesses sometimes take 5 cars, 10 cars, 20 cars together on rent for a specific period. So the number might turn out to be a little bit significant. Hence, receivables management and hence the topic of working capital management comes into the picture, which is again part of your F1 syllabus. See how we are giving you ideas? Please take note of it. Next, we speak about the employees. Now, the employees at the sales locations are empowered to resolve most customer issues and receive appropriate training to enable this to happen. So, empowering the employees and giving them the responsibility is very important, and this makes them feel involved, motivates them. So training and continuous development is also key part of employee involvement, which we are backing, which we are doing. So that is good for my organization morale altogether. Next, customer satisfaction levels are tracked by sending location specific surveys to recent customers. You send them survey forms, they fill it and send it back. These are used to assess the services and identify ways to improve the customer service delivery and the overall customer experience. Now, my thought over here is, what I'm thinking is, we are receiving all these different kind of information, right? We receive information from the customer, we take in information on our app, on our website, but we are receiving all of these different types of data from different data points. How are we using it? Are we doing anything to leverage it to generate comparative advantage? A data analytics software or a big data system would help use all of this data to generate competitive advantage, to find what customers like electronically, to reach customers electronically, to incite them to book with us electronically. All of this can be done if you have a data analytics and a big data software. Moving forward, we learn that our company already has certain data analytics systems that it uses, but always keep an eye out for things like this. That is why I have put a star, and this is part of your E1 and P1 syllabus. So what we are doing of this data, what we are doing of the data that we generate, is an important idea to always be on the lookout for. So, just to give you some real world thought on how companies in the car rental industry are using data. So, for supplementary reading, there's something extra. It's not part of the pre scene, but we have created it extra for you. So, the dynamics of the car rental market is rapidly changing. And one of the reasons is the new perspective provided by big data analytics. This is becoming more of a fact with each passing day, thanks to the huge growth of connected cars. This is something that has really come up. So, car rental and data analytics. Research shows that only 20% of cars across the globe were connected in 2014, but the number has crossed 60% in 2018. Car connectivity and the growth of big data is turning auto rental firms into companies that rely on data analytics in order to rent more and more vehicles. The cars being connected, you getting real side data of how much the car is traveling, where the car is, when is it going to be dropped, the condition of the car, all of that enables you to rent it out further, faster, in a better way. Next, there is car status. So cars are becoming increasingly more connected, making them easy to integrate into big data platforms. In addition, connectivity will also enable drivers to download functionalities that have a potentially large impact in numerous areas of car rental operations. Same way, big data helps you with inventory management and fleet tracking. The vast majority of car rental firms face several problems in the area of managing their inventory, tracking their fleet. Big data companies, when combined with cloud platforms, can go a long way in changing this scene by giving auto rental firms the upper hand. Clear, simple inventory and fleet management with the help of data is a real competitive advantage. To give you a real world business example, Hertz, a big car rental company, has used big data and analytics to streamline their customer satisfaction process and improve the overall customer experience. Hertz gathers a huge amount of unstructured data, then uses it to serve their customers better by creating customer programs like memberships, like point systems or whatever. They are using that information to give customers better benefit. So my again, the thought that's coming to my mind is, if all of these big companies are doing it, then we can also do this. We can see this as an opportunity. So how our company Accelerate can use big data to better its services must be something that we are consistently on the lookout for, and this is part of the innovation strategy that our directors are pushing for. Keep this in mind. Moving on, we speak about the maintenance. Now, the quality of the maintenance process is considered to be of vital importance, and it is fundamental to customer safety and customer satisfaction. Any compromise on maintenance and the car breaking down really hampers reputation. So customer safety is paramount for our business reputation. And this also brings up the issue of risk management. You cannot take any chances in the maintenance process. So total quality management, making sure that quality is adhered to, making sure everybody sticks to quality is very, very important and should be the culture of the organization. So remember, total quality management could be something that you look at introducing over here. Quick and proper repairs are also critical to ensure fleet utilization rates are kept as high as possible. If you have the cars but half of them are in maintenance, you are not really utilizing them. So quick and proper repairs are very important. To ensure this, the maintenance centers hold inventory of consumables and spare parts. Again, you have inventory over here. Now, this is not a manufacturing organization, so you can't really say that we should have a just-in-time system over here, because that is really relevant and related to a manufacturing industry. Total quality management, yes, it can be applied for service organizations as well. For the maintenance center specifically, you must be able to keep your inventory as low as possible, but not compromising on the quick and proper repairs that are critical for us. So inventory management, economic order quantity, and hence working capital management become important issues which are part of your F1 and P1 syllabus. So inventory management is a key issue here. After that, they have given us four main occasions when the car is checked by the mechanics in the maintenance centers. So they have given us four main occasions as to how the maintenance system works. Now, this is a lot of detail into how each part of the maintenance depot or maintenance system functions, but it's important for us to know the key areas. So if in the exam they were to bring out some specifics as to they tell you that after the car was returned, the checks were not carried out, so you should be able to clearly tell them that okay, this is a procedure which should have been followed, where after the car is returned, the employees are instructed to check the cars and to make sure nothing untoward has happened. So to be able to pick out special issues and specific issues that are that are related to the functions, to the operations of the maintenance depot or of the organization as a whole, it's important to understand the system that our organization focuses on. So first is the checks are carried out when the new car is first delivered by the dealer. This is known as initial inspection. Although the dealer has checked everything, we always double check because quality is key for us. The exterior of the car is checked. The checks are carried out on fuel, oil, fluids, mirrors, sound systems, and everything else. Checks are also carried out when the car is returned by the customer after the rental. If the car comes back from a rental with a defect, the car is given to quality control inspection before the defect is repaired. In this way, mechanics hope to catch other items in need for repair. So before giving it to the mechanics, they first give it to quality control inspection, which highlight that okay, these three are the problems, and then the mechanics are supposed to do the job. In addition to all items previously checked in the initial inspection, the quality control inspection includes steering, and all mechanical items are checked again. So we do it at the beginning, we do it when the customer gives the car back. Regular servicing is carried out in line with the manufacturer's recommendations under the warranty requirements. Remember, when you buy a car, most of the times in our case, we have purchased a car or it's a repurchase agreement. If it's a repurchase agreement, we need to keep servicing it regularly so that it's in condition and the manufacturer buys it again from us. If it's our own car, we still need to take care of it because that's our asset. Asset management is key. And also when it's a new car, there are certain warranty claims which you can take in the initial period. The company's maintenance centers have also been approved by the main car manufacturers to carry out rectification work under warranty. You can do that work and it will be reimbursed to you because of your quality maintenance centers. If the car has been purchased or if it's a repurchase agreement, you have been given that authority. You are recognized by the company's manufacturers that your mechanics are great quality, they can do the job. under the warranty claim. Accident repairs are carried out by third-party suppliers. When the supplier completes the body works, each car is inspected by an Acellerate mechanic before payment is made. So if it's an accident, then these repairs are carried out by third-party suppliers. You give it out, you outsource it. So outsourcing needs to be understood over here. What is outsourcing? Its advantages and disadvantages. And once the repair is complete, your mechanics will check it. Now, my question over here is, we have the whole maintenance depot. Why have we outsourced one part of it? I don't see any specific reason for it other than experience and other than just experience and giving it to somebody who is great at that particular job. So just something to keep in mind. But these are the 4 broad steps that generally our maintenance depot deals with, or maintenance depot follows. Next important topic, fleet management system and fleet purchases and disposals. Very vital. The fleet management system is one of the major parts of a car rental company. So the company uses a range of technologies in its car rental operation, all of which are linked to its fleet management system. So the fleet management system is at the core, and then there are different technologies, different innovations that are combined into the fleet management system that helps you manage the fleet in a better way. The fleet management system is a national reservation, rental, fleet control, data processing, and information management system. So see, the fleet management system is a combination of many different things. It helps you with reservations, rental, fleet control, data processing, and IT management, information management system. So this is an integrated system which is linked at every step to the core parts of our business, and hence managing the fleet management system, upkeep of this system, keeping it safe is vital. It will be an ongoing and important IT system which needs to be kept safe and regularly updated. The fleet management system allows thousands of customers' inquiries to be processed each day. So the fleet management system is simply, let's say, on our website we have integrated the fleet management system. In our app we have integrated the fleet management system. So whenever the customer makes an inquiry, the price is calculated, the offering is calculated, everything is calculated and presented to the customer because of this fleet management system. So it deals with so many data points, it deals with so much integration, and obviously because we are a big company, it processes thousands of inquiries each day. It provides customers with accurate and timely information about the location, the rates, the car availability, as well as enabling the customer to place your reservation or modify your reservation. So everything on our app and our website is done because of this fleet management system. It's the core, the spine of our business. The company also uses data supplied from the fleet management system and other information management systems to maintain centralized control of major business processes such as pricing, fleet acquisition, and logistics. So all the data, for example, a customer comes in to your website, checks the price. Thousands of customers similarly come to your website, come to your app, check the price. So all of this data is gathered in the fleet management system, and it is supplied to maintain centralized control of major business processes. So all of this data is combined, and then pricing decisions, fleet acquisition decisions, logistic decisions are made. So the fleet management system is gathering data on which your pricing, fleet acquisition, and logistics is based. It is key. And all of this data is centrally controlled. Now, data is being used from different parts of the organization for pricing, fleet management, and logistics. They mentioned that centralized control is maintained, which means all the major decisions, pricing, fleet acquisition, logistics, are taken by the head office or the major directors, and others have to simply follow. because these are major decisions, these are strategic decisions, and our company believes in centralized control. The opposite over here could have been decentralized control, which is not very relevant in this case, according to me, because three major decisions such as pricing, fleet acquisition, and logistics must be taken by people who have the experience, who've done the job, and who have the background, which is our head office or the directors. Next, the fleet management system incorporates two main components. The first component is the fleet planning model. So, under the fleet management system, there are two major components. The fleet planning model is a comprehensive decision tool which enables the company to develop plans for the acquisition and disposal of its fleet. The fleet planning model provides details on the age, the mix, the mileage, and the cost reports. This allows the management to monitor and change the fleet deployment and to optimize its fleet plan based on estimated business levels and repurchase programs. So, under the fleet management system, we have the fleet planning model, which helps you figure out what's the age of the car, what's the mix of the cars, what's the mileage, what's the cost reports. That is something that we must, that is vital for our business. On the other hand, there is a rental income management system which is designed to enhance profitability by providing greater control of car availability, car movements, and pricing. The system monitors and forecasts both car supply and customer demand to optimize your utilization rates at each location. The company also utilizes systems to gather and report competitive industry rental rates every day using data from third party reservation systems, which automatically scan rate movements and report significant changes. So, under your fleet management system, which is a mixture of all the different data points gathered in one place, there are two main components: the fleet planning model and the rental income management system. So these two main components are vital for our comparative advantage. This is something that we are incredibly good at, which is part of my fleet management system currently. So it's our comparative advantage. So this was the fleet management system. Have a very clear idea of what this is. This is key for our business. Next, we have fleet purchases and disposals. So in 2020, approximately 45% of the company's rental fleet was comprised of cars subject to agreements requiring car manufacturers to repurchase cars at a specified price. So 55% cars were the ones we owned, 45% were repurchase agreement cars. Now, repurchase agreement cars have a holding period of 12 months. They will be recorded as current assets because it's under the period of 12 months. More will be discussed about this once we get to the financials. But just know that any car that has a repurchase agreement of 12 months, less than 12 months, recorded as current assets. Vital to now know the terminology. Cars subject to these repurchase agreements are called program cars. So if they say program cars as part of the question, as part of the mock question, or anywhere, if I say program cars, you must know that I'm speaking about the repurchase agreement cars. The other 55% of the fleet are cars which are not subject to these agreements, and they are referred to as risk cars because the company retains the risk associated with the residual value of these cars at the time of their disposal. So 45% are known as program cars with the repurchase agreement, 55% are known as the risk cars. The fleet purchases are financed using different types of borrowings from major financial institutions. So, whenever you want to buy cars, you rather than using your own money, you borrow the money. So, a brief knowledge about different financing options, specifically debt financing, must be kept in mind over here. This is your F1 syllabus. At present, none of the fleet is leased, which means the cars are not leased. You buy them under a repurchase agreement or you buy them outright. They are not under lease agreements or arrangements. Now, this raises the question. Now, in parts of Southeast Asia, in parts of Asia, leasing cars is not really a thing that is really popular. But in the Western culture, it's really popular. People lease the cars rather than buying them. Companies also lease cars rather than buying them. So, leasing vehicles instead of buying them and then subleasing them to other customers can also be seen as a business model going forward. It reduces the one time payment that the business pays, and certain maintenance issues are also easy to tackle. So you lease the car from the manufacturer and then you sublease it to a customer that takes it on rent. This can be used for long term rents. It is possible. Generally, this leasing happens for a longer term period, but rental companies are also starting to do the same. So, again, an opportunity, a light bulb that goes off in my mind. Next, the agreement with car manufacturers typically requires the company to pay more for program cars, the repurchase agreement cars, and then retain them in its fleet for a minimum number of months. This is obvious. The manufacturer is going to buy it back from you, so he's going to charge you a little bit more. It imposes certain return conditions like the car condition, the mileage, etc. When the program cars are returned to the manufacturer, the company receives the price guaranteed at the time of purchase and is therefore protected from fluctuations in the prices of previously owned cars in the wholesale market. So you don't have anything to do with selling, finding a customer, selling it, none of that hassle, because the manufacturer buys it from you at a predetermined price. The company disposes of its risk cars largely through car auctions and direct to dealer sales. So, risk cars which you have purchased, once they are at the end of their residual life, once you are changing them, you sell it through car auctions or on your website or direct to dealers as well. In 2020, it continued to expand the scope of its direct to consumer car sales program to include the sale of risk cars directly to consumers using their website, as well as company owned second hand car retail sites in several Everland cities. So you sell it to second hand car retailers and they will sell it forward. You can also do that, and this is something that our company is focusing on. Direct to consumer sales and alternative disposal channels such as online auctions provide the opportunity to maximize car sale prices. If you realize that a car is really in demand, everybody needs it, rather than selling it to a dealer, you hold an auction on your website. Since you are a big company, people might be interested. Next, we speak about marketing. Now, marketing is the responsibility of the company's marketing department, which employs a range of marketing methods, including traditional media as well as social media marketing. So, you are happy to accept new trends as well as stick to old trends that have worked for you. That's a good approach. The marketing department's main activities are research, promoting and advertising, raising awareness, and helping to determine pricing strategies. The company's website and app are considered important marketing tools, and it's your main sales channel as well because that's where customers come and book your cars. The website and app have been continually developed to ensure visitors are engaging with the content. It's made easy. Now, our marketing methods are new and innovative, which adds comparative advantage. We continually develop the app and keep coming up with ways to engage our customers. The more customers are engaged, the more time they spend, and the better chance of booking on our app or on our website. So, marketing is something that our company has focused on in traditional ways as well as new ways by adopting social media marketing. Moving on, they've given us further marketing information. So, website and app pages are informative, clear, and easily navigated. This is my competitive advantage. The website and app employ data analytics to enable the company to source sales data, but also other metrics such as number of visit, average time, bounce rate. All of that we can or we have in place as form of data analytics. So important in today's modern business environment, and good that we are at least using this data. The data analytics also captures data about customers such as your home address, age, reason for car rental, and this is considered an important source of information to help determine customer preferences. With storing and using data comes the problem of data protection, which we must keep in mind. In addition to the data collected from the website and app, an email is sent to customers at the end of each rental period to get their survey. So, an integrated customer relationship management system is something that many car rental companies are using and is of increasing importance. So, over here, we are only simply sending them a survey. But how can we better make this customer experience better? For example, the sixth company example or the Hertz company example that we gave you, where they were using customer data to have bonus point offerings, to have membership offerings. All of that is also an opportunity which my company can look at. Similarly, the connected car discussion that we made is also something that we can use look at. This is not something that we are currently following. So connected car is also an important opportunity for the future. We now move our focus to the IT function. Now, the company makes extensive use of digital technology both to manage its fleet of rental cars and to improve the service offered to customers. It is good that we have a dedicated IT director and IT department to supplement our extensive reliance and development in digital technology. Somebody is always looking after it, somebody is making the key decisions. That's good. The recently launched Accelerate mobile app allows customers to reserve, update, and cancel reservations, choose their cars, extend their rentals, extend their return, ancillary products, whatever, using their mobile device. So, your app has been recently launched. So, your digital costing, app management are of increasing importance, which is part of my P1 syllabus. The company's recently installed rental income management system, which is part of the fleet management process, includes pricing analytics tools to enable it to increase the profits earned per rental day. It helps you price better, price with more information. So the price that you give to the customer is more accurate and helps you generate more revenue. It plans to continue deploying new technology systems to support your management decision and enable it to tailor products, services to meet the customer needs in this fast changing environment. So we see that over here, a couple of new major changes in our IT offering, which are newly developed app. The new things happening is first the app, the rental income management system, and further linking of IT with our systems. All of this is happening simultaneously. With all of these major changes, it is key that it is well managed and the change is communicated to everyone within the organization and everyone understands their role very clearly. Major IT changes are disruptive and need proper training for employees before they are implemented so that they understand why this change is being made. So keep in mind, the app is new, the rental income management system is new, and you are always looking for new ways to tailor products and help management make their decision. Next, we speak about the finance department. Now, the financial information system produces monthly management accounts and annual financial statements. So, general practice, this information system also generates daily and weekly sales revenue and fleet operating cost information. So, daily information as well as weekly information is created to have a clear idea of what is your sales, what is your operating costs. Budgets are produced on an annual basis only. So, what is an annual budget? Now, an annual budget lays out a company's projected income and expenses for the 12-month period. The process of creating an annual budget involves balancing out the business's sources of income against expenses. So, an annual budget is simple. What is going to be your expected income? What is going to be your expected expenses? That's your annual budget. Understanding an annual budget. So, annual budgets can apply either a fiscal year or a calendar year. These budgets help their creators to plan for the upcoming year and make the necessary adjustments to meet their financial goals. So, you look at your previously created annual budget, add or subtract whatever you feel is relevant, whatever you want your financial goals to be for the current year, and that's an annual budget. So, it's kind of looking at historical information which doesn't really, which is not very prudent, which is not very true in today's modern business environment. What happened last year not necessarily will happen this year. For corporations, governments, and organizations, annual budgets are critical and are often mandated for planning purposes. It is very good for planning purposes, but it's backward looking, it's not forward looking. Key takeaways are that an annual budget is a plan for your projected expenditures. An annual budget acts as a benchmark against which an individual or company can measure your progress. Budgets can be in balance, which is expenditures equal to revenue, in deficit, where expenditure is more than revenue, or in surplus, where revenue is more than expenditure. So, another prime role of an annual budget, typically broken down into monthly periods, is the enabling of budget versus the actual performance comparison. So your variance analysis comes into picture here. Annual budgets help with variance analysis as well, and variance analysis is clear indication that a standard costing system is being used, which is not very reliable in today's modern world. And we are going to speak about costing once we reach our financial analysis part. But remember, annual budgeting system is what is being followed by our company. As we move further on, they tell us that the daily rental fees and operating costs are reviewed as part of the budgeting process. And other information to formulate the budget is obtained from the fleet management system, because it gives you all the prices, the revenues, the rental rates, the rental dates. All of that comes from your fleet management system, which helps you to create an accurate budget. Individual functional managers have responsibility for setting and achieving those budgets. So over here, it mentions the use of a bottom down approach, where budgets are set by the functional level managers and then agreed to by the top level management. This would seem to be beneficial in today's modern day, because the lower level management know everything. They are in touch with the day to day business. They know what is good, what is bad, what should be used, what should not be used, what can be avoided. So giving them the authority, giving them the motivation to create the budget and then getting it signed off by the top level management is good modern practice. On the other hand, there is a top down approach, where the manager or the director can tell you what's supposed to be done. But each system has its advantages and disadvantages, which you can have a read of from our P1 syllabus. Again, types of budgeting becomes an important situation over here. Monthly reporting on actual performance compared to budget is to both the functional managers and the senior management team. So monthly reporting on actual performance compared to the budget, so the variance analysis goes to the managers as well as the directors. Variance analysis is a method being followed by our business. It could be beneficial to look at a flexible budgeting system as well. This is part of your P1 syllabus. Flexed budgets are being used more and more in today's modern environment. Next, human resources. Now, company believes that its employees are fundamental to its success. It is committed to maintaining a professional and supportive workplace. So, in line with the CIMA code of ethics, the code of ethics must always be published and always be advertised whenever you are hiring. So that is a key consideration over here. Remember it. It seeks to support the well-being and growth of its employees by offering development opportunities. The company operates an apprenticeship program for its maintenance technicians and provides specialized training for staff at different stages of their development. A customer service training program is also available for customer facing staff to help develop the customer experience. So, one of our biggest comparative advantages, this has to be seen as a major plus point for our business, that we are giving importance to employees. We are helping them develop. They will feel part of the organization, they will buy into the organization's goal, and it leads to long term success. Now, next, we move on to the industry analysis. Now, this industry analysis is provided inside the pre-scene, but guess what? You have already done the industry analysis in detail with me before you started the pre-scene. So this is going to be kind of a cakewalk for you. This is going to be kind of just refreshment for you. It's something that we have already done. So we'll go through it together again. Now, the European car rental industry is fragmented, with approximately 65% of the market share being held by five large companies. We already know that this is what's happening in the real world as well, and we have already done this as part of our industry analysis. The remaining share is held by regional and national companies. Now, competition will be a key factor of this industry and something that we will always need to evaluate. Our competitor price checking software and external market awareness that we already have, that we learned in our company operations, will come in handy over here. Our local credentials have made us the preferred choice of Everland customers, and this is the reason we have been able to stay afloat in this difficult business recession period that has been spoken about. The major companies operate in the market under multiple brands aimed at different segments. For example, let's say one company's premium segment cars are rented under the company X. Its economic cars are rent under the company Y. So it will be one parent company, but it will have different multiple brands aimed at different segments. Small companies generally have one brand name under which they sell everything. So this can be seen as an opportunity for us. If we are looking to expand, we can look at creating a new brand that deals with the economic car rentals, because we are not currently in that industry, right? The three main types of brands on the market. The first is the premium brands. Now, these brands provide high quality car rental and other mobility solutions at price points generally above value branded car rental companies. They serve the premium business and leisure segments of the travel industry. So, this is something that we do. They tend to offer more additional service options than lower price brands do. Then there are middle segments. These brands are aimed at value conscious customers. Prices are lower than that of premium brands, but the level of service and customer satisfaction levels are similar. Then there is low cost or deep value brands. It's for the cost conscious consumers. Prices are lower than those of value brands, but the services are very, very basic. The business model used by these brands allows companies to operate with multiple brands to extend the life cycle of the portion of their fleet, as they cascade cars that exceed certain premium or value brand age or mileage threshold to be used by low cost brands. So simply they're giving you a service that is bare minimum, and they'll probably give you cars that are a little bit older, that are a little bit that have a lot of mileage on them, but they will give you cost effectiveness. So we have already done this in our industry analysis, and hence we'll already know this information. So doing the industry analysis first puts us one step ahead, as you would have experienced when you started the pre-scene with me. So let's move on. The next part is continuing the industry analysis. So the industry, in common with other industries, has suffered a severe setback as a result of the recent global economic recession. That's the theme that they have set. Prior to 2020, market experts were predicting an average growth in sales revenue of around 7.5% over the next 5 years. But it is now predicted that the industry will not return to 2019 levels until 2025, and that some car rental companies will not survive. So rather than growth, to achieve the same standards as of 2019, it's going to take you 4 more years. So in my industry analysis, when we started, we assumed pre-COVID levels and we have given you numbers accordingly. We have not taken any of this global recession or the COVID-19 pandemic into consideration, because CIMA has specifically asked us not to, as part of the note that they have published. So when we gave you the growth numbers, when we gave you the market numbers, all of that was not keeping into account the pandemic or the global recession, which has been the theme of this particular pre-scene. So over here, they have mentioned the growth will be very limited and industry will return to the same level as 2019 in 2025. You can use my industry analysis information and the information provided here to create a complete sentence. Example, you can say the car rental industry is a huge market and growing, which has been affected by the global recession, but is bound to bounce back over the coming years because of more customers being interested, developing nations being part of this market. So use the best out of both. That's what I'm trying to say. Next, the car rental sector has gone through some significant changes as a result of internet and e-commerce. There are online brokers and travel agents which are now available. This is a highly competitive segment where price is the main decision factor. Everybody is going to choose on price. The growth of the value segment, particularly in major tourist markets, example Southern Europe. So again, this can be seen as an expansion opportunity for us. Let's start a brand that focuses on the value segment in Everland or in other parts of Europe. That is being done by most companies around the world. The car rental companies have taken advantage of the opportunities provided by technological innovations to simplify the customer experience. This has included self-service kiosks, online check-in, automatic pickups, they're making it easier. The issue for the car rental industry is that there are two very distinct customer groups and they have very different expectations. For example, business customers are frequent renters and they like the loyalty point system, the global network system, the ease and quick stuff. Leisure segment is majorly focusing on price. So we have already done this again in the industry analysis. In the last few years, a number of new services, including car sharing, car club schemes, car subscription services, are also coming up. This is something that we can look at. So they are now also speaking about another couple opportunities as part of the industry analysis. They say that over the next few years, the industry is likely to focus on two main themes. And these two themes, first is the car as a service technology, which offers potential for new business channels like car sharing, car club schemes, car subscription services. So these are the opportunities which will be available, which we've spoken about. But we'll also speak about this as we move at the end of the pre-scene. There is also the second technology, which is the connected car technology. So this helps us know where the car is, how is the car, what's the position of the car, what's the condition, what's the mileage. So it facilitates your asset management. It will help you work with all of these data points to create good asset management features and will minimize the likelihood of your mechanical failures. So this is something that is really coming up. It's part of your big data technology, which we also discussed. And this is something that is also discussed towards the end of the pre-scene. But these are two major technologies which you must just keep in your mind. So that was the industry analysis which is given to us in the pre-scene. We move on to the next part, which is extract from the company's website. So they've given us an extract on what our website says. So if you go to accelerate.com, which is a fictional company, doesn't really exist, but this is what its website says. So we have laid out the rental car process for our customers. So our first is to find our sales counter. If you're picking up a hire car from an airport or a railway station, The rental counter might be in the terminal or nearby. In some locations, you will be directed to a free shuttle bus service, and that's something that we offer. What you will need to pick up the car? If you have already made a reservation, you just need to show the voucher for it. If you haven't made a reservation, our staff will help you complete the reservation form, take your driving license, your ID, your credit card, and then just ask you to pick the car up. For extras, you will be offered extra insurance and you will be asked to pay up a security deposit. It is not a legal requirement to buy additional insurance, but it's always something that you must recommend to your customers. And payment, you will pay for the car if you haven't pre-booked, and any payment for the extras will also have to be made. The counter staff will also pre-authorize a security deposit on your car to cover the costs if the car gets damaged. So it's very, very common. This is a standard practice, and we have laid this down on our website so our customers are not confused. They know what to do. So out of these four paragraphs, the keywords for me to focus here are our process is customer focused and customer friendly. Also, there is a large involvement of staff at every step. You need your staff to do the job, so importance needs to be given to this idea. Also, can we find alternatives to make this process automated? For example, if somebody is booked online, you give them a barcode. They go and scan the barcode at the particular center, and automatically the key is released and the person's pickup is authorized. Is that possible? Because the more you automate stuff, the less staff costs you got to pay, the less training costs you got to pay, the less insurance costs you got to pay. All of this goes down if your process becomes a little bit more automated, and that is something that can be seen as an opportunity, can be seen as something that we want to do. Also, they have mentioned about, signing the rental agreement and getting the key. So the staff does not rush you into signing the rental agreement. They give you time to read through it. You keep the documents safe. You may check them, whenever you need them, and you can also reach them for roadside assistance. Once you've signed the agreement, the counter staff will give you the key to the hire car and tell you where to find it. You take a look at the car, you take a look at the issues, and record any damage before you leave the car park. So you need to be certain what the areas of damage are and clearly document it so that when the customer returns the car, you can have a look and see if there are more damages, so you can charge the customer accordingly. Now, this is going to be a risk management. This is going to be a particular situation where we need to be very clear about as part of the nature of our business.